Our first connection with the Rebbitzin, personally, was a week before our wedding, when the Rebbe agreed to perform the wedding ceremony, the Siddur Kiddushin. My father-in-law asked him for permission to invite the Rebbitzin. And the Rebbitzin was a very, very private person. And the Rebbe said to my father-in-law, she doesn't come physically, she will not come, but I think she'll be appreciated to be invited. And she knows of you because you always say it with flowers. He told him the English expression. You say it with flowers, because he used to send flowers to the Rebbe's house for Yom Tov. So we went then. I was the young chassan, and my kala, and my in-laws. And the Rebbitzin, we were there sitting at a table. I'll tell you just a little event that happened, give you a bit of an insight into the Rebbitzins' personality. The beautiful white tablecloth, and she served punch in long crystal glasses with glass straws. And she invited the chassan, which was myself, to pour out a punch, which I did. And at one stage, when my hand was going over the glass, I didn't notice the straw. And the hand pushed against the straw pushed against the glass, and the whole punch spilled on the table. And the Rebbitzin said, yeah, Simon Bracha. She got all excited. She said, it's a sign of blessing. My father-in-law said, afterwards, she looked so delighted that he was tempted to spill over another glass. But she was ever sensitive to the other person who was with her. Whenever we went there with our children or with my in-laws, we would spend some time with the Rebbitzin, who was extremely wonderful human person, dedicated to the person she was with on the one hand, and on the other hand you can sense that you were with royalty. Her presence filled that room, very powerful presence. She would relate to even to the children. My little daughter, well now she's 20, but she would say, "Come to Doda." She would she was like a parent, and give us candies to the children. And then when we were there with the children, she would sometimes ask each child to perform. Each child to do something. Boys, bar mitzvah, tell us your pilpul. This one, you sing niggin? She told him to sing a niggin. So he sang the Beinani, which is the song of the Frierdiker Rebbe. And like a little tear glistening in her eye. The boy sang very nicely. And he said, do you know it? She said, it's my father's song. Our oldest daughter, who is married, by the way, to Zalman Posner's youngest son. And they're living in Rancho Mirage, California. But she was then an 18-year-old girl, 17, whatever. She came here to study. And my father-in-law told the Rebbitzin over Yom Tov, you know, she's here alone. She doesn't have any relatives from England over here. And there's going to be a wedding this winter in London of her cousin, and she's going to miss it. So the Rebbitzin said, I'll maintain contact with her. And then, like, weeks went by, and she didn't hear from the Rebbitzin at all. And when it came to Rebbitzin's wedding anniversary in Kislev, my father-in-law called up just to say Mazel Tov. So Rebbitzin said, is there a number I can get a hold of your daughter? He said, I've tried. She called to the school where she was, just Lubavitch girls' school, and she said, can I speak to Yantachaya Lu? And I said, I'm sorry, we don't call pupils to the phone. With the administrative office. She didn't say who she was. She didn't identify herself. So she didn't want to break the rules or pull rank, I guess. And she asked my father-in-law for the phone number. She got the phone number of her apartment here on Eastern Park, where she was in a little apartment. She phoned up on a Friday afternoon, and my daughter was out shopping for Shabbos, and her flatmate, her roommate, answered the phone and said, she's not here at the moment. Would you like to leave a message? She says, tell her Mrs. Schneerson from President Street called. That's how she identified herself. When she went Purim, the Rebbetzin says, come eat. There was like a table full of various shlachmanos that they had received. And she said, have something to eat. So my daughter said, I just coming from the Suda. I just had a good meal. But she said, you're going to my husband's Fabrengen. She said, yes. She said, you have to get a lot of energy because you're going to have to really push in order to stuppen over there. She was very much empathize with the person with whom she was talking. She did speak about the Rebbe sometimes. My father-in-law asked her how, if it doesn't disturb her, when the Rebbe comes back sometimes after Yechidus, it could be 1 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, or after a Fabrengen when he gives kosher bracha, or some other occasion, very, very late, does it disturb her? And she says, no, I'm always awake when he comes home. When you speak about the sacrifice of the Rebbetzin, I think that it deserves to be described in historic proportions. Because if you look at the framework, at the shell, you're dealing with a person who is childless. At the same time, was a brilliant mind. Someone who appreciated the intellectual and spiritual power of her husband. And would probably, as anyone who is like in the people business, would expect that this would compensate for the fact that she didn't have children. She at least had the company of her husband, and yet we see that she really surrendered that exclusivity to the world. She was the person who understood why the world needs the Lubavitcher Rebbe and gave him to the generation.